Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing developments regarding visas under an Anutin government. And as we've discussed in another video made contemporaneously with this one, it's looking like in the aftermath of Ms. Paetongtarn's removal from the premiership here in Thailand and the cabinet sort of being frozen in a caretaker position thereby, it's looking like we're going to see a reshuffle and a new government here in Thailand. It seems to be shaping up that Mr. Anutin and his Boomjai Thai party will sort of be at the helm of it in a rather interesting kind of coalition. But I'm not going to get into deep analysis on that. For those who are interested in that kind of information, you can check us out at basically you can email us to get my paid news service, Integrity News Service. You can go ahead, email us media@integrity-legal.com, where I'll do deep dive analysis of where I think this stuff is going, how I think it's going to impact expat land, including banking and taxes, and a more detailed analysis. You can check that out by emailing us media@integrity-legal.com. While I'm talking my book, I think it's worth pointing out my better half and I set up a restaurant here in downtown Bangkok. We have American diner style food and breakfast anytime. It's called Pancake Palace, as the name implies, breakfast anytime, as well as American diner style food, cheeseburgers, buffalo wings, chili bowls, grilled cheese sandwiches, glass bottle Cokes, what you'd expect from American diner style type of food. Come check us out. Links in the description below. We'd love to see you there. Now, this is going to be one of the few videos I probably ever made where I'm not really disagreeing with Mr. Kenyon. This is Barry Kenyon, a writer for Pattaya Mail, and hats off to you, sir. Not really disagreeing with him, but I think maybe he hasn't quite thought of all the nuances of this possible shift in government and how this may impact immigration policy. Let's jump in here. I thought of making this video after reading a recent article from Pattaya Mail. That's pattayamail.com. Article is titled, "Foreigners Wonder What's in Store If Anutin Becomes the Next Premier." Quoting directly, "As regards subjects of particular interest to Thailand's expat community, Anutin has said little over the years. It is unlikely there will be major developments on visas, for example, as the next administration will likely be short-term pending a general election next year. The preoccupation for now will be on domestic issues such as a deflated economy, the high level of household debt, tariffs, and a possible referendum for a new constitution to satisfy coalition partners." Going back to this specific line, I just want to quote this one more time. It is unlikely there will be major developments on visas. So Mr. Kenyon's saying it's unlikely there's going to be major developments on visas. I would say that's probably overall true. As he notes, I don't imagine this government will last very much past the first of the year. I think that's reasonable to presume based on what I'm understanding the deals being made with regard to putting this coalition government together in the first place. So let's set that aside. But that said, I think there's one issue in an immigration context that could see major changes, and that pertains to the Destination Thailand visa. As I've discussed in other videos, and I was roundly hated for it when I brought it up at the time, I thought the Destination Thailand visa was bad policy to begin with. It was also, in effect, badly implemented, and it's frankly led to the brand Thailand being sort of harmed somewhat, in my opinion, in the aftermath of the rollout of the Destination Thailand visa. Let me go into some background. The DTV was created, Destination Thailand Visa DTV, was created when Paetongtarn was coming in to the government. And I think that the thinking behind it was they wanted to basically goose tourism numbers. They wanted to get tourism numbers up real high so that it could be sort of spun, if you will, as a win for that incoming government helmed by Ms. Paetongtarn. Now, the problem with the thing was there was virtually no consensus between the two, and I stress two, institutions, if you will, ministries, if you will, which are responsible for administering immigration and enforcing immigration law in a Thailand context. They had one ministry creating these visas, namely the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, because that ministry at the time was effectively, if you will, controlled by members of the Pheu Thai party. Meanwhile, Mr. Anutin, who seems to be the putative incoming PM, if you will, was at that time the Minister of Interior. They created the Destination Thailand visa entirely as a brainchild and entirely within the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and it was handed out by embassies and consulates outside of Thailand, oftentimes in a digital format through the e-visa portal. To my understanding, they didn't really even seek consensus from Ministry of Interior, notwithstanding the fact that Ministry of Interior is ultimately responsible for administering immigration policy within the kingdom. It's immigration police under Interior Ministry who deal with all the checkpoints, for example, both land, sea, and air, I should say land, sea, and air checkpoints throughout Thailand. Meanwhile, it's under the auspices of Interior Ministry that immigration in country deals with things like extensions and issues like that. Meanwhile, Interior Ministry, shortly after this whole thing was rolled out, was asked basically, well, what are the rules regarding, this was another big, huge problem with the Destination Thailand visa. Labor Department is the one responsible for administering labor policy in Thailand and issuing work permits. But yet it was announced that the Destination Thailand visa had some magical, work authorization so long as you weren't working in Thailand, which how exactly that can be the case when you're on the ground in Thailand doesn't make any sense to me. I don't think it makes any sense from any logical perspective. But again, the thinking seems to have been at the time to just get people in, just create this visa, use it as a means and method of getting a bunch of people into Thailand, and we'll worry about the fallout from it later. It's sort of a shoot first and ask questions later, as we'd say back in Kansas. It just didn't make a lot of sense. And Interior Ministry subsequently came out and said, hey, look, if you do anything that, quote, impinges upon the Thai economy, which is anything in Thailand, as I've discussed the legal definition of work here in Thailand, then you are subject to needing work authorization in Thailand. So it's been in this kind of weird limbo. On top of that, as we've seen all this banking stuff rolling out, Destination Thailand visas are finding their bank accounts being closed and they're not able to open new accounts or any accounts at all, again, based on the fact that this visa was not designed to work in Thailand. So what was it designed for? Well, the fundamental fact of the matter is it was poorly designed, and it was designed in such a way that it was being done for basically political expedience in the form of gaining instantaneous sort of political capital by dint of the fact that a lot of people would sort of grab onto it and use it to get into Thailand and then cause the numbers of supposed tourists to go up and make that incoming administration sort of look good. But in the aftermath of it, as we've seen, it's actually caused problems and it's been damaging to the brand of Thailand because it doesn't really do what it says it's supposed to do, because it's not really based on any of the legal framework that the immigration system is based on. And it's resulted in my opinion, blowback in terms of sort of, public perception of Thailand's immigration system generally. Well, it results from that because of the fact it was poorly designed to begin with, and it was only administered and created by one ministry when it's two ministries that actually have authority over those issues. So on that score, even though this could only happen in the first 3 or 4 months, or the only 3 or 4 months of this possible incoming government, I think it's very, very possible, if not probable, that we will see major changes as it pertains to the Destination Thailand visa. Now, exactly how that plays out remains to be seen. If it's positive, negative, or net neutral, or whatever, again, remains to be seen, but we will certainly be keeping you updated on this channel as the situation evolves.